DD214 Gaming Podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from DD214 Gaming is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now, because we have you.
Yo, what's happening, everybody? Oh,
Sorry.
there you go. Mine slowed up too for some odd reason.
All good.
I don't know what happened.
It's all good. It's all good.
Everybody, thank you for coming to episode 107 of the DD214 Gaming Podcast. And today we have with you the 3 J's and Sergeant First Class, Brandon Cleary. How you doing today, my friend?
What's going on, guys? I appreciate y'all having me today.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you, and thank you for taking the time. I know you're a busy man. Like when you make big Sarge rank, man, like you got to be busy all the time. So yeah. Thank you for taking time out of your life and your schedule to be with us. Yep. So we appreciate it. Yeah. How was your guys' week? How's everybody doing so far?
I mean, who wants to start?
I mean, if nothing else, I probably can because like we really didn't do a lot. Like mine was.
Go for it.
A short week. It was. I worked a couple games at the K. Nikki's parents came into town and stayed a couple nights, or 2 days and a night, I should say. And that was it. That was the extent of our week. It was one of those like kids went to school, came home, eat dinner, rinse, repeat, and next thing we know, it's Friday night. You know what I mean? Like it was basically one of those. So. Not too much on my end to report, so whoever wants to go next. That was literally my week.
We watched Extrapolations. It finished. All-star cast. It's about the Gen Z kids all grown up fighting climate change, and it ends with a pretty interesting ending, and with a cliffhanger for a second season to go back and go through these timelines again. I think it's important if you're like a climate weather goon or whatever. It's fine. Go for it. I actually really enjoyed it, and I'm not crazy. I'm ready for the palm trees to grow in New Jersey, all right? Like, bring it on, global warming, baby. I'm ready. But, the show has a lot of realistic tones. I think it's a fantastic show with a fantastic cast, and it wraps a whole story. So 8 out of 10 for Extrapolations, Apple TV Plus. We also had 420 this week, which was,
hell yeah.
Look, we don't talk about it that much, but we're just, I do have a sponsorship with Buds R Us, all right? And, they came through. We had a good, they didn't come through. I smoked with my wife all day, but, it was a good, healthy, and safe time. Everybody was safe. Nobody died. It was just good. You vibed out, listened to music. I had a radio show that day.
Hell yeah.
And played Red Dead as always.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I was able to finally kind of like officially partake in 420 festivities, like for one of the first times in my life. Like
Yeah.
as far as like no worries, everything's legal, everybody can just chill and just do whatever they want, and that was fun. I happened to buy I purchased a special pipe. I've been looking for a pipe for a long time. Like this goes way back before when I was still in the Army and I couldn't smoke weed. Like I've been looking for this damn pipe. Well, I finally found it here in KC, dude. So I do have to brag on my pipe, dude, because I finally found the Gandalf from fucking Lord of the Rings. So on 420, I fucking on 420, I broke this son of a bitch in. So this is not a heavy use pipe. This is one of those like this is all actual wood and it's a mahogany pipe. So like I finally found the motherfucker. Like I found my holy grail. So this will be special occasions and thoughtful silences, right? So yeah. Joe, how did you enjoy your 420 holiday, dude?
I actually, right now, I don't partake in 420.
Surprise, the MP doesn't smoke.
No. I mean, I would. It's just right now legalization in my state's not there yet.
Still making the juice not worth the squeeze, huh?
So to play it safe, I mean, I'll do edibles here and there. Neighbor, couple buddies of mine get me some edibles, good ones.
Edibles the right route.
So, but this year I just didn't have anything, and I had to work, and I was in meetings all fucking day. So I wasn't trying to be.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be blitzed out my mind when I'm sitting in a freaking meeting with the C-level people, with the executives from the company all day.
Yeah, especially if you have no tolerance, like guys like me and John, we'll take shit to the face and about give it 20-30 minutes and we'll be okay. If you have no tolerance, sometimes that shit will take you to the fucking moon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and that's like,
and
yeah.
It's not that I don't have tolerance. I've got tolerance because I do partake a little bit. But not like you and John. So more just I was stuck in fucking meetings all day on 420 with executives, CEO, COO, CIO, CFO, all the C's.
All the C's and all the O's.
Yep. So it was definitely not a, I'm watching all my buddies post shit because they take the day off and crap, and I'm like,
oh, absolutely.
I should have requested off in advance. But then with me going through the process to get this new position at work, I'm kind of trying not to take off as much as I used to.
Sure.
Until they finalize the selection on it, because
makes sense. That makes sense.
So,
yeah, man. What about you, Brandon? Did you lie to any kids this week?
Well, no. Start off with
he's a recruiter. They always lie. They're kind of like politicians.
Hey,
that is low blow.
That is a true statement. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. USERIC is all politics. It really is. But so with the 420 thing, so obviously me being active duty military or military in general, can't partake.
Right.
So for me, it's just another day. I didn't even realize that it was 420 until I was playing Fortnite with a buddy of mine, and he was like, "Hey, happy holidays." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Right.
And he was like, "It's 420," and I'm like, "Oh, fucking!" Like the only thing that comes to my mind when 420 comes around,
oh shit,
is that's
what kid you're trying to get in is about to pop hot on their fucking
yes, exactly. So I'm like, "Oh fuck!" Well, here goes a month of waiting on people to clean up.
Right. It's really surreal to me being at my age and growing up like in the I was a teenager in the 90s and seeing it from the 90s where everything was outlawed, but there was still a culture around it, and if you partook, you kind of were in that culture to some extent, and to see it go from there to almost outright legalization, and it is outright legal in many places around the country now, and where you can it's basically like being a kid in a candy store for me, because I'm just like the freaking the little 16-year-old that used to go hide in the wash to freaking smoke his doobies freaking like loves this shit. You know what I mean? It's like, and I really do use it. I can honestly say I use it medicinally. So it's like, it's not like me and John are just freaking, baked out potheads. It's like,
Islas.
it helps a lot. It's not a miracle drug, but it fucking helps a lot.
No. Listen, I smoke that shit like cigarettes, all right? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You see how you see like Chainsaw Willie up in the corner smoking Marlboros for 12 hours a day? Well, that's me. Like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a morning and evening guy, and occasionally I'll partake in the afternoon. But I'm 100% morning and evening.
Yeah,
so.
I have to say though, he said Fortnite, and it's been a while since I touched that game, man. But I heard some nasty things about this season. But I just I've been so stuck on Red Dead, I keep forgetting to go into Fortnite.
Sorry, John.
We need to do another one of those nights, guys.
We really do.
Oh, yeah.
Jay
Brandon
wasn't
play
there
with us a few times?
Yeah. It was Brandon, you, me, and Ghost from Basement Gameworks.
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember that one game. I got hit with something, and I flew on top of a tree, and I survived the whole thing.
That was probably a hammer.
Yeah. We probably have. I mean,
those hammers were pissing me off.
Because look, we've played like a bunch of games together, but it seems to be like the one game that we seem to have fun with is Fortnite for some odd reason, and I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I can't even explain it, but
it's because in Fortnite, if you look at it, Call of Duty, you really need to be tactful when you're playing Call of Duty, but in Call of Duty, you're playing a lot of other adults. In Fortnite, 90% of the time, when you throw a group of us veterans together, we're using tactics to our advantage. We're making call outs. We're doing things like that. And these kids that are on the other squads don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Like hurting
just getting shit on.
Yeah, dude, just stomping their fucking faces in. Just like watching their little faces just turn to mush, right? Like in the game. Okay, and that's a metaphor.
Earlier this week on Monday, I streamed and I was playing Fortnite with Ghost from over at Basement, and one of the co-founders for Basement, Irish, she popped in, and I knocked this person, took him completely out. Their teammate rezzed him, and then I killed the person again right as she popped in, and I screamed, "I killed you twice, motherfucker. Now stay the fuck down." And she just in my chat's like, "Stop being toxic." I'm not being toxic. I'm calling it as it is. Like, this is twice I've taken you out and you continue to try to shoot at me. Stay the fuck down.
This is how the army fucks us up, dude. It's like that's like, for a regular person, that probably would sound toxic, but for us, that's like a fucking Tuesday, dude.
It's funny too, because like I have a habit of just like screaming sometimes. There's even a clip on our YouTube of me like doing a long scream, and Squilini's like, "Oh, there goes John."
Yeah,
he's just losing it again.
Random yelling, a lot of hatred and anger for no reason. You know what I mean? A lot of rage, just discontent. You know what I mean? Like, just it's all just in there, and you just kind of hold on to it for a while. And some people bring out the best in us. What can I say, right?
Yeah. So
Brandon, I was gonna say, Brandon, tell us a little bit more.
Well, first off, who are you? Who are you?
Oh Lord! All right, where to start? So I'll hit on something that you guys got to hit on a few episodes back. Y'all were talking about origin stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in recruiting, everybody has one of those. All right, we call it our Army story. That's what we pitch the kids. Is everybody has their own reason for joining and stuff like that. So for me, 38 years old. I turned 39 in about 30 days.
You're right up there with me, homie.
Yeah.
OMG.
Yes, dude. OG, baby. OG.
Dude, holy shit. Wait, when's your birthday?
May 26th.
No shit, mine's the 20th.
I turned 35 on the 25th.
Nice.
Oh, you little young ass motherfucker.
You fucking Geminis, you traitor ass Geminis. Fucking two faces.
But yeah, so I originally from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. For those of you that watch college football, Roll Tide.
Fuck the Tide. Go Tar Heels.
Oh my God. Really? All right. Anyways. So yeah, I grew up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Dropped out of high school 3 times.
Nice.
3 times in my senior year. Yes, that's possible.
Oh
like it.
shit!
Yeah, I did
I
it
like
too. I did it too. Don't worry.
Yeah. Ended up getting my GED when I was like 20, 21, something like that. I joined the Army at 23.
Real quick. What in that little time span between high school and joining the Army? What were you up to? Like, what kind of activities did you enjoy? Because I that was part of my story too. And those years they got quite dark. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like,
So when I was 17, I thought I was the shit, right? Like I thought I was about to hit 18 and I thought nobody could tell me anything. So I dropped out of high school and my dad, he was a single parent, raising me and my sister. So I kind of took advantage of that because he worked all the time. So I basically just did whatever I wanted to. I ended up moving out and, I slept on some friends' couches for probably like the first year or two after dropping out of high school. Just working random jobs. I worked at like a Buffalo Rock warehouse stacking drinks. Went and worked at like an oil change place. Became a mechanic there for about a year. And then when about 2 years before I joined the Army, I kind of had like a reckoning, I guess you could say, like a life epiphany.
Come to Jesus moment.
Yeah. That it was
Come to Uncle Sam moment. Yeah.
No, it was time for me to like grow up and quit being a kid and start focusing because I had my oldest, she's 19. So she was like 1 year old and I needed to do something for her, to make her life, to start our family. So I worked things out with my dad after having some bad, 2 years there. And he helped me get a good job at a manufacturing place. Used to be called Delphi. They went bankrupt. But we built the dashboards for all the Mercedes SUVs. So I was in charge of the industrial engineering side of things. All right. Nice. So pretty much anytime there was like a change on the line or something like that, I would be the one to handle all that. So I had to literally know every single workstation in that plant. And there was 23 on one side and 12 on the other. So a bunch of different stations that I had to know basically like the back of my hand. So I did that for about 2 years. And then one day a buddy of mine came back from basic training doing hometown recruiting. And he didn't try to recruit me or anything like that, but I was genuinely curious. I didn't know anything about the Army. So I asked him, what was basic training like? What's your job like? Because at that time, the only thing I knew about the Army was that there was people in there that shot and killed other people. Infantry. Like that's all I knew about the Army was that they kill people. So then I found out.
Fuck yeah, bro. Fucking A.
What a perspective. Yeah.
Hey,
we're a bunch of hired killers. Fucking who knew? Who fucking knew? Right? Like, surprise.
So
go ahead.
My buddy was
unless you're a cook.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so my buddy ended up being a 92 Foxtrot, actually.
Oh shit! That's yeah.
So that's how I found out that there's more to the Army than just shooting people in the face.
Quartermasters lead the way, baby.
Yeah,
but shooting people in the face is the most fun part.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. So when I found out about that, and with my oldest daughter's situation, I'm saying oldest, she was my only child at the time, but now she's my oldest. She was born with a muscle disorder, right? So she has what's called arthrogryposis. It's basically a lack of development of muscle while in the womb. And there are, obviously side effects to that, right? With no muscle, you can't move your arms and legs and stuff like that, which eventually, if you've ever broken a bone and got casted or anything like that, those joints, they stiffen up pretty quickly. So imagine your whole 9 months of incubation in the womb of not being able to move. So basically her arms, legs, and pretty much all of her extremities are affected by this, right? The joints are locked in place. Like her arms are straight. Her legs, she is stuck in a seated position and she's in a power wheelchair. So I knew at that point in time, when he was talking about the benefits of the Army and stuff like that, as far as like the medical and stuff like that, I knew that was something that I needed to get behind quick.
It was a no-brainer.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer. So he was back for
about what year was this?
This was 2007.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, August of 2007 is when I joined, and when I say that I joined quick, I joined fucking quick.
I did the same thing.
So he came back for HRAP, and he told me about basic training, and I found out about the other jobs and stuff like that. So I told him, I'm like, you know what, put me in contact with one of these recruiters. So the next day, the recruiter came to me and my wife's place, sat down, we had dinner.
That's the best. That's like the best introduction that you could have, actually. Yeah.
That's how that's how we do it in the South. Sit down, have dinner.
Yeah, break bread. Like share a meal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and the recruiter told me about EFMP and TRICARE and all that good stuff. Exceptional Family Member Program, to make sure that where you're going in the Army has the medical necessities for your exceptional family member.
Right.
He told me about that TRICARE. 3 days later, I'm down at MEPS taking the ASVAB, doing the medical exam, and then a week after that, I went to basic training. So literally from start to finish, it was about 10 days from talking to a recruiter to go into basic training.
Holy shit! That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So
yeah, but I mean, during that time also, though, it was like that. Now I'm pretty sure it's a little bit slower paced.
During
because that was the height of the war.
When I went in a couple years. Well, I went to MEPS a couple years later, and it was during the surge, and I actually had to wait. I would have done the exact. If they'd given me a 10-day option, I would have taken it. I had to wait about 2 months, and that was because they were pumping so many fucking kids through the fucking gates. You know what I mean? Like that's like. Go ahead, Brandon. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So during that time, everybody like lying to kids and getting paid for it, right?
Yeah.
So the only bad thing that I can say about my recruiter, and I'm not even going to say that it was his fault, but so when I was in his office and I took the practice test, this was the day before or 2 days before I was going to MEPS, I took the practice test, and apparently I did well. Like I didn't know what I scored. He's just like, oh yeah, you're going to qualify for everything. And then we sat down and we started talking about jobs, and he was like, yeah, you're probably going to qualify for like a $40,000 bonus. And I'm like, 40,000? Okay, let's go. So I get to MEPS, do everything, take the ASVAB, still didn't know what I scored. And I'm sitting down with the guidance counselor down there doing my contract and everything. And he's like, all right, here's all the jobs that you qualify for. And I'm like, well, I only know of 2 jobs. I know of infantry and I know of 92 Foxtrot, which is what my buddy does. So I called my wife while I'm at MEPS and I'm like, hey, these are the jobs. These are what I'm thinking. I know what infantry does. I'm kind of leaning that way. And I know what 92 Foxtrot is because that's what Mike does. So she told me, if you choose infantry, I will divorce you. So needless to say,
even if she didn't want to, it probably would have happened, bro. Like it probably would have happened.
So needless to say, I ended up being a 92
super
Foxtrot.
fucking high.
Yeah, like it's bad. It's bad in the like you either got a super strong wife or you're headed for disaster, like quick, fast, in a hurry, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you went 90. So you became a quartermaster.
I did. So I became a quartermaster. Yep.
What is the so we know the designation is 92 Foxtrot. What is the occupational specialty?
Petroleum supply specialist. So pretty much anything and everything to do with fuel.
Fueler.
Ground fuel, aviation.
Okay.
Testing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Taking gasoline baths.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because that was actually the first occupation that I was offered after my wife had told me the same thing. Like I'll fucking kill you before they do. So like they actually offered me 92 Foxtrot at first, and then I accepted it, and then there was like a couple weeks in between the time that I had to take the test in the MEPS, and then they were just like, oh, by the way, someone took your job. You're gonna be a cook now. I'm like, oh, okay, fuck it. Let's reap it.
Send it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, wow, that's touching story, man. You had like an actual, not that anyone else didn't have an actual reason, but you had like a very personal reason to make an easy decision to jump into the Army and expand your life and continue the mission and do what needed to be done. And now I'm looking at your inquiry here. So you're 16 years active duty right now.
Yeah.
About to drop that freaking retirement package soon, homie.
Yes, sir.
He's got about what, 2 years? You can drop it
before I can drop it.
I was gonna say you can drop it at 18 years, right? So you got Almost there, dude. Almost
Almost,
there.
man.
Yeah, so you have
Mhm.
a hell of a record here. 2 combat deployments: Baghdad, Iraq, and Panjwai, Afghanistan. I'm
Panjwai.
sorry, Panjwai.
Panjwai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Assignments include 3 BSB and Fort Stewart. Which is funny. I was in Fort Benning, right under there, in Third
Yeah.
ID. I was also in the BSB unit, and all 296 BSB and 123rd Infantry Joint Base Lewis McChord, Washington. And so you started recruiting in what year? How long? Like
2015.
2015. So during that,
Oh,
so
shit. Did you like did you reclass
Yeah.
and to stick it out as a recruiter? Is that kind of what you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I'm dying to hear this. This is
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is interesting.
So,
Dying
well,
to hear this.
so how was the fueling job? Did you come home smelling like the gasoline? Like, was it?
oh, every day.
That's fucking
But
wild. Because
I
I've
love
always
that
been
job.
curious.
He's gonna get a fucking rating no matter what, specifically because of his MOS when he goes
Really?
to the VA.
Okay.
Yes, because like when you take fucking gas baths, dude, like there's
Yeah,
stuff
fuck your
that
skin up too, man.
he's probably got some stuff coming down the line, dude. Like when he gets older, and like
Mhm.
he's gonna have like an automatic like rating,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, and you
based
know
on
what?
his
That's
MOS. Like
and it's something too to say about the quartermasters too, because the one thing that because I love being the quartermaster. It's such a grand history, but if you really think, a lot of jobs offer outside work, but almost just about, if not every quartermaster job, you can
Oh,
get
yeah.
an outside occupation in like that.
Absolutely. Especially like my field, because I was hazmat qualified and everything else. So like truck drivers, cross country fuel haulers, any
Oh,
kind of thing that involves hazmat, like I could easily do it. Petroleum engineering, like there's all kinds of shit that I could do with that. So I loved the job. It was great. Oh God.
man, you guys like Bud Light?
Tall boy.
I like Bud Light.
There he goes again.
Here we
love
go with
Bud
this shit
Light.
again.
No, nobody stirs the pot on this fucking show. Never, dude. Never.
As he takes the first sip, and then all of a sudden he's got fucking
Rainbow.
done up
like,
nails and a fucking damn long hair, and fucking he's growing boobs.
Jay is gay. Jay is gay,
Oh
baby.
God. I'm dead.
$20 is $20, everyone. Just remember that.
Bro,
Hey, that's a
I'll see you
factual
under-
statement.
I'll see you under the bridge when you get there, okay? Like
Oh, what's a Z job? If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Fucking beer
Jesus.
fest.
That was such a good show.
I apologize. I apologize.
No,
Go ahead.
you're
Please
good.
Oh man.
So yeah, my first 8 years in the Army was petroleum supply. I loved it. It was a great job. It was hard. Like I made 5 in 3 years. I actually got
good for
battlefield.
you.
Yeah.
I got battlefield promoted over in Iraq.
Good for you. Fuck yeah, bro. And you got to see Baghdad?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah. I spent a
awesome.
year.
I missed Iraq. I only ever made it to Afghanistan, and I love hearing stories from some of the Iraq guys because A, I wasn't there, and B, there's a lot of fucking history there. Like not
Oh,
just
yeah.
not
I've got to dig
the
through.
war.
I've got photos of me sitting on the fucking throne in Saddam's palace.
right.
Oh,
That's like that
baby,
shit like
let's
that
go.
where there's like legit. It's not just the war. Like there's history there. Like thousands
yeah.
and thousands of fucking
Yeah.
years of civilization and history. Like there were places where we were at in Afghanistan on one of my tours in Kandahar, outside of Kandahar. We were marching on the ground where fucking Alexander the Great and his armies were fucking marching thousands of fucking years ago.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And and that's one of those things like people just can't like nobody can ever take that away from us. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like regardless of whatever happens before, during, or after, like we were there and nobody can ever take that away
Man,
from
this
us.
is some intense talk.
Tell me-
I need to smoke a
Dude, tell me
cigarette.
about Baghdad. I got to hear about Baghdad. What did you think?
So obviously, I didn't deploy until I was right about 2 years in.
Okay.
When I first got to Fort Stewart,
It's a good time
They-
to get warmed up and shit.
yeah,
too,
yeah, they
actually.
were already over in Iraq when I got there in Fort Stewart in 2008. They were only there for about 2 months left, so there was no reason to send me. So I was in Rear D. They came back, and then we had their year of dwell time, and then we got put on that kind of like national defense rotation shit. What they call it, like Sea Smurf or some shit like that.
Yep.
So we were on that for
you got put in the rotation basically.
yeah. So we were doing that for about a year, and then we got lined up for Iraq. I had that preconceived notion that we all have kind of in our head of what to expect. Fucking all out war and everything else, and what you see on the news, because that's all I had to go off of.
The action shots.
Yeah, exactly. And then I got there and I was on the convoy security detachment. So
Nice.
I was in a gun truck. I started off as a gunner and then went into a driver position. So my first time on the road, I'm a gunner as a specialist, and I'm freaking the fuck out a little bit, because I'm like extra observant and everything else. Yeah. Oh yeah. Trying to keep my head on the swivel and everything else all the time. And, it wasn't anything crazy. It was going down the streets. You see the mud huts everywhere. We were on Fob Falcon, which was just probably about 20 minutes outside of the Victory Base complex around Biop. But we got mortared like every Sunday, like clockwork.
Holy shit!
Yeah, every Sunday. I don't know what the fuck it was with Sunday.
Must have been motivating.
Sunday. Yeah. Oh well, the first time I did it, the alarms start going off, and I'm sitting there eating chow, and you just see everybody going running out of the dining facility, and I'm just like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm new here. I don't know what to do. So then they're like, "All right, you got to go to the bunker."
Like, watching everybody leave, and you're just. The fuck, man! I'm hungry, dude. What the fuck?
Dude, the fucking cooks were the first ones out.
Whoa! No
the cooks were the first ones out.
They have to be, and their leaders are smart, because that is a when you're in a specific support roles, it's like cooks, mechanics, fucking medics,
fuel,
fucking like you have to live. We're like us fucking window lickers, dude. We won't make it without the fucking people that support us. We won't make it, and we won't make it far. We have to have you guys. Like, you guys are valuable assets. Like just because we we get the glory shots, and like basically all we are is fucking bullet sponges. So until we become bullet sponges, freaking like we need you guys behind us. We have to have you. I will not don't ask me to fucking like try to like forage for food. You know what I mean? Because I'll end up fucking eating out of a dumpster like a raccoon, dude. Like there's not. I'm good at shooting stuff and moving and moving and communicating. I'm not good at fucking taking care of myself. You know what I mean? Like that's like, you know what I mean? Like that's
we're always talking our survivor roles too. Like I always end up being the guy who cooks the humans into meatballs just in case. Like
I would eat that. Like
you didn't have a choice at one point.
So you're gunning. You're outside Fob Falcon. You're gunning. Or no, the mortars are coming in. I'm sorry, mortars are coming in.
Yeah. So
every
Sunday,
I
said, clockwork every Sunday. We would get mortared. By the time they were smart with it though. So like they would set up their mortars off in the distance, and what they would do is they would put ice down on the bottom of the tubes, and then set the mortar in on top of it, and then they would leave. So by the time the ice melted and it was set off the mortar, they were long gone. So by the time our guys got there to the site, there was nothing there anymore except for the tube and a pile of water below it.
In the industry, we call those poo sites. Literally a poo site. It's point of origin.
Yeah.
So you have every time there's a mortar attack or an artillery strike, we have stuff that triangulates where it came from. And they will send out a squad or a platoon size element to inspect the poo site. So that is a thing. So
fucking OPSEC.
Point of origin. I was trying really hard right there. I was like, don't say it. Don't say too much about that. Like there's a reason we're number one, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason we're number one.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna put it that way.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the thing.
Stuff and things.
Being a gunner though was probably the greatest part of that deployment, because you're up in the turret,
king of the world, baby.
Yeah, exactly, and you got all of the view, like no obstruction, nothing like that. So like when we'd be driving down,
please fuck up.
Yeah, that, and then there's so much like architecture there, like amazing architectural stuff.
Yeah,
like you got the giant cross sabers. What
was that? What was
the flying man?
What was that like? Like
when you first saw like the famous cross sabers, dude. When you first like saw that or drove under it or whatever, like what was that like for you?
So the cross sabers are actually like kind of inside the green zone, which is right outside of Fob Prosperity. So it was pretty well secured. I mean, it wasn't like anything crazy going on there. So we went there to the actual site, and there was like a big parking lot up underneath it, and we all got out, got our pictures with it and everything else. But it was amazing. It was amazing to see that, and how what we assume, how they live over there and what we expect, it didn't line up. There's so much more over there than just desert and the bad guys.
It's almost like people have been living there for thousands of years or something.
Exactly.
So,
Now,
exactly.
I am curious because I want to know what the timeline was between Squillini and Brandon. Like, what were your
What year?
What years were you guys there?
When were you in Iraq?
I was in Baghdad from December 2009 to December of 2010.
Squillini?
Okay.
I was there December 08 to December 09. So probably about the time Brandon was coming in, I was leaving.
And don't you and me have a crossover on one of our deployments? Fucking in Afghanistan?
Yeah, Kandahar, yeah.
Kandahar. It was my in 2016. Like, because I got there in like February of very late February of 16. So
no, our crossover was you were going in as I was
when I was
in the Army.
When I was a mechanic. That was my first one. When we flew into Kandahar freaking before we flew out to our FOBs. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fucking I love fucking deployment.
Yeah, you were going to say something too. I was curious about that.
What's that?
So I was actually going to talk about the Sabres also, because that was definitely one of those things. Like, I'd seen shit on the fucking news of troops going under the Sabres and shit. And it was definitely one of those, it was a cool experience even for me, because, my first deployment, that was one of the first things we did was we stopped on our way into the palace, because as MPs, like, our base of operations was the palace at that point, because we'd already taken it over. So going in, doing the photo ops with the Sabres, it was definitely one of those, like, now I'm a piece of fucking history at this point, because I've been here, I've done this.
And nobody can ever take it away from you.
Right.
It's like kings of the fucking earth, dude. Kings and queens of the fucking earth, dude. That was that's the shit, dude.
When was Saddam found?
2004, 2003 or 2004. It wasn't very.
So
he hit out for a little while, and he made it for a little while, but then it was like 03 or 04. It wasn't long after the invasion, but it was like, I think he made it for a little bit.
So you guys were there, like, kind of keeping the peace and building it back up and making sure everything was good. Because because a lot of that stuff, I was younger. I was in high school during that time. So all the stuff I was just hearing what I knew about in the news.
The people that were fighting against us when Joe and Brandon were there were the people that eventually became ISIS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically, like, that was the beginnings of what eventually became ISIS. And that's that is also part of history now. You know what I mean? Like, because of everything that happened after the Arab Spring and with the rise of ISIS in like 13, 14, and 15 and all the bullshit they were fucking pulling. Like, that's part of history now too. Like, it was a clapback, basically. It was blowback. And a lot of our Iraq compatriots, regardless of how the war started, once we were there, and a lot of our Iraq veterans suffered mightily because of that blowback, and that's what eventually became, and still remains to this day in certain places, ISIS. So history lesson from fucking Jay, right?
But see, and that's the big thing. Being MP during a combat time, MPs. I'm not sure what exactly their roles are now that we're not, technically in war or in a combat situation anymore. But during that time, MPs, especially in a combat zone, we were more peacekeepers. And in Iraq at that point, when I was there, we were going out, showing face, trying to
ingratiate with the locals.
Trying to help build a democracy over in Iraq, because Hussein was gone. They had no real government anymore. We were trying to help build up a government for them. so they could govern themselves once we left.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Now-
it was a little wild.
Yeah,
And-
and it's still
So in a
it's
sense,
still-
I was kind of politician-y like a recruiter.
So right now you're a sergeant. You're a sergeant first class. So what was that? So you became a 5 during you got battle
Battlefield
promoted.
promoted, which is fucking awesome
Yep.
to be able to say that. Too,
Yeah.
that you get that distinction.
That's a hell of an honor, and like
in
you
your
know,
career, yeah.
yeah, and to hear like
That's
for
how I
me,
got my E6.
Fucking
That's-
A.
you know, and like and for a guy like me, I've never deployed, so hearing these things, I'm like, wow, this is so fucking cool. So now during all this time, you know, you come back, you do your deployments. Now was Melbourne recruiting station your first recruiting station?
Yeah, and actually, so before we move on to this,
Yeah.
and this is more for Jay, but also
Oh
you
shit!
Oh,
as
God.
well. So I got some pictures that I was gonna see, like of
Throw 'em
some
up.
of this architectural stuff.
You
How do
absolutely-
you want me to
please
send them?
do.
Please.
What you'll do is pull it up on one of your tabs, and then you're gonna freaking hit like there's a button.
You should
It'll
have a share screen button, even as a guest.
It'll say share screen, and that'll be your that'll be how you pull it up. And it'll
Well, I was
let
just gonna say, can I just send them to you, John?
Yeah.
And have you show
Throw 'em
them?
in.
Or yeah,
Let's see. I'll send them to you on
Yes,
Discord.
sir.
Let's see.
My 40-something messages.
I do want to see. I love architecture. Like after I moved back to Kansas City has a lot of older style architecture, and it's beautiful downtown.
All right, there you go, John. They're in
Oh.
your DM.
Oh shit!
I want to fucking see this.
Oh, we got some. Oh,
Let's see this. It's a spicy meatball. I want to taste the goodness. Ba, 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 ba.
here's the first one.
So, like, this is the stuff that you don't see, like, on the news and stuff like that. Like,
Mhm.
there's
Right.
fucking grass there, dude. Like,
Yeah.
we think it's all desert and shit, but there's fucking grass right there, bro. I was shocked at like how downtown Baghdad looked. It reminded me of a fucking town here in the States.
Sure.
it looks
wild.
like, you know, a street you're rolling down through in Florida.
Yeah.
With the palm trees and the grass in the median. And
Except MRAPs. Except
Yeah.
MRAPs.
yep.
And excuse me for
Except
being.
MRAPs.
Oh wait. My bad. The cops have those. So yeah, same.
And look,
Same
excuse
fucking
me for
thing.
being a camera
Same
nerd,
thing.
but I've always been a sucker for photos that have like that yellow like mark on it. I love that shit. I fucking love that. I
Sign of the
fucking love
times.
that.
That was
Let
a
me
sign
get
of
the
the
next
times.
one.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. I'm very curious about this.
All right. So this was outside of Fob Hammer. We were literally in the middle of the desert. We had to secure a site because we were doing a joint tank range with the Iraqi army. So we escorted what was it? It was like 5 or 6. I don't know if y'all know what a het is. A het is basically the giant Optimus Prime looking truck that transports the Abrams.
Oh shit!
Or
Yeah, I
any
know
kind of,
exactly
like,
what you're
giant
talking
track
about.
vehicle.
Yep.
It's got like the 40 wheels on the trailer and all
Yep.
this shit. So we went out there, we secured the site, and that's what I slept on. Those boxes are 2 tow missiles
Dope.
and then 2
Okay.
litters. So we literally slept in the desert on 2 tow missiles in the middle
On
of the
top
night.
of fucking missiles.
Fucking
Yeah,
A.
that's totally safe.
Fucking A.
Dude, it was great. It was great.
Hey man, if anything bad happens, fucking, you ain't gonna feel a fucking thing, homie.
Exactly.
You ain't gonna feel a fucking thing. They're just gonna be picking up pieces of you freaking for the next 2 weeks, dude.
Here we go.
And then there's the cross sabers. Like I said,
there they are. There they
giant
fucking
parking
are.
lot up underneath it.
Jesus
Mhm.
Christ, they're big.
Yeah. Oh, they're huge.
Yeah.
Man.
It's fucking awesome, dude. That is
I,
fucking-
you know, like I've seen
fucking
like
awesome.
interesting pictures, but the perspective of this photo really like shows the size of it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you got the truck up in the foreground. In the background, you got you got the cross sabers, but the soldiers are right there, and you're just thinking, holy shit, that is rather big.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge.
Mhm.
And then that was outside of a soccer stadium. I
Awesome.
seen that and I was like, I got to get a picture of that. That's
actually
pretty
pretty-
cool.
That's
That
actually
is
that
really-
is actually pretty cool. Art that
This is really-
architecture is. I mean, do some of these buildings even exist anymore?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because this
Yeah.
was all post all the J dams and everything else. This was more of our our
This was
our
after
peak.
we did our massive bombing runs and fuck shit up over there.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then
There you go.
that was
Flying
pretty
map.
cool.
Flying
Yeah, I
map.
saw that. I think that was on MSR Tampa, going towards VBC. So it was
No shit. Yeah, so
was
they
pretty cool.
definitely give you like because you look at architecture, you look how art is portrayed and created here, and then you look across, you look across seas, and then you see, the different perspectives of art that are being created from different centuries of time, and it's actually quite incredible to kind of like be in front of it, and you feel this like energy, this emotional energy towards it, and being there for war, it's probably a whole different mental perspective that you're there, to do the right thing,
Yeah,
but everything's destroyed.
I always found it very interesting. There's a, every place you can put your foot down on Earth is ancient. Obviously Earth has been here the whole time, right? But there are places on Earth where people have been there for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and not every place on Earth is like that. And some of the places that we collectively went to during GWAT, and even still to this day, are ancient. And when I say ancient, it's like beyond like comprehension how long people have been walking in those exact places. And that's and you can feel it. Like you really can feel it. It's
and then you
there's an ambiance to it.
and
You know
then
what I
when you
mean? Like,
say things like that, you start thinking about like America. Americans have only been stepping on this country for a little over what, 300 years?
pretty much, well, Anglos, yeah,
Yeah.
like when you take into account our indigenous tribes. Yes, they've been here, and there are certain places in the United States, the continental United States, and Hawaii and Alaska, that obviously people have been there, but it wasn't the way we do it now. So like a lot of the tribes, our indigenous tribes are nomadic, so we don't have a lot of the sites where they might have congregated, and we're still discovering a lot of that stuff because a lot of that history got lost.
Yeah,
there are certain places out west where we know for a fact people lived. The Tucson Valley, where I grew up, John, is one of the oldest continuously inhabited places in North America.
Yeah.
People have been living in the Tucson Valley for like 1,000 years, and they know they know beyond a shadow of a doubt. But that's one of only a few in North America that they know of right now because of the history that was lost.
And thank God for history taking its course to preserve history.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And then when you go to a place like Baghdad, you go to a place like Kandahar in Afghanistan, you know what I mean? Like just by happenstance or by circumstance in your own life. And you go to these other places where people have just been treading that ground for thousands of years. We know it for a fact. Shit really, in some ways, shit ain't really changed.
Land.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, shit ain't changed. You know what I mean? Like you can still see people living in mud huts. And it would not be that functionally different, that much functionally different than it was 1,000 years ago or more. So it's like, it really does like give perspective, and it does lend some credence to getting the fuck out of your house. You know what I mean? And like taking a good look around and like getting outside your comfort zone. You know what I mean? Cause it helps, it helps.
Yeah.
So sorry. J rant. My bad.
So what's next? I
want to hear about the recruiting part since I got disqualified from it. Like,
so you're coming from the sands to the palms now.
Yes, from one sand to another sand.
And how so you're a recruiter now, you're starting off. What was that like? What was your first perspective thinking? Like, because you're thinking of your time when you were speaking to a recruiter, I'm sure, and how you would want to have a better experience and give that to the future. What is it like choosing the future? Because essentially it is an important job to be a recruiter.
It is. So being a recruiter is probably one of the hardest jobs in the Army. From not physically or anything like that.
I would not argue that. I would
But
not argue that at all.
It's one of those jobs where you can do everything right and still fail. So like
it's a lot of stress.
I can talk all the fucking game about the Army and bring out all the positives. And one of the things that I do pride myself on as a recruiter is that I have never ever lied to a kid. If anything, I have overtold the truth. Like I try to be 100% honest with these motherfuckers.
Yeah, but I'd rather have a kid not join the Army because you told them the truth, because that kid would like regret it later and then turn into a fucking shitbag.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I can't count how many fucking shitbags I saw in both my time as a mechanic and fucking my time in the infantry. Okay, like shitbags are fucking not welcome, dude. You know what I mean? Like they become a fucking weight around everyone else's neck, and it sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah.
But that also makes it suck for him, because when they drop out, it makes him look bad, right? Like,
so for us, going into it, right? So we get credit for people when they ship to basic training. After that, technically, it's no longer our issue, but it does become our issue because attrition from basic training, from first term contracts, and even throughout their career in the Army affects retention numbers, and a retention also affects recruiting, right? Because the Army has an end strength that it has to meet, and retention and recruiting is the only way there, right? So overall, it does.
It's where macro meets micro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as far as recruiting goes, like, I love it. I love making an impact on somebody's life. Like, there's people that I've put in within my first 2 years of being a recruiter that I still talk to.
Hell yeah.
Actually, one of them last week, guy I put in, Greg Hardy. So he was the first ever waiver that I had to run. And when I tell you it was a nightmare, it was a fucking nightmare. Possession of marijuana.
Fucking bitch.
Oh, man.
Yep, possession of marijuana charge.
Oh, no. God.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever will we do? He's a
started the
smoker.
show off with 420. We're going back to 420.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a week, let me tell you. I don't even know how I'm alive. But anyways,
so I put him in one of the hardest packets that I'd ever kind of put together at that time in my career, and got him in. Was actually talking to him last week. He made sergeant about 2 years ago.
Fuck yeah.
But he works in HR, and he's trying to take care of a soldier that kind of got screwed up in the process of joining. All right. Nobody intentionally did anything. It was just an accident. Right. So he joined under ACAS.
Which happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Mistakes do happen.
Yeah. So the kid joined under ACAS, which is basically acquired civilian skills that transfer into an Army job. So, for instance, I'll use combat medic as an example. If you're an EMT in the civilian world and you have all your up-to-date EMT stuff and basic life-saving course, then you can come into the Army as a combat medic and you get a reduced AIT. So instead of 16 weeks, it's only 7 weeks.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Because they skip all of that NREMT and all that crap, all that training, because they're already certified in it. They also come in, any ACAS job comes in as a specialist. So automatically come in as an E4. So this kid joined under ACAS as a musician, but was only promoted to E3. And I went, Greg called me and he was like, hey, I'm trying to help this kid out. So, I have access to pretty much everybody's records that's joined the Army, right? All I got to do is know their social security number and I can pull up their electronic record, kind of like S1 has access to everybody, right? But so I got to look in and everything else. And there was an accident when he got promoted. They used the wrong promotion credentials, right? He had an associate's degree and that's what they used to promote him on. So Greg called me and he's like, hey, how do I fix this? So I helped him out. And now we're getting the paperwork process to get this kid's, rank fixed and back pay and everything else. So
Hell yeah.
trying to take care of these guys.
So the job never ends even after. You know what I mean? Like there's
Right.
still work to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We do have a question here for Jeremy Strobridge, who I did boot camp with. He slept a couple feet from me. Can you sense the level of commitment of a recruit when they are signing up?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because there's some guys and girls that are just gung ho. You know, they want to do it, and then they get cold feet at the end. You know, I had one guy that came in every week and was at training and coming in and so excited to join and ship and everything else. And he shows up on ship day. We take him to the hotel to get ready for MEPS in the morning to go to basic training. I get a call at 6 o'clock in the morning. Old boy left the hotel in the middle of the night.
Damn.
So, yeah, you can, for the most part, get a sense of it. But that human factor is always there.
What was your guys' last meal before you went to basic? Like when you were like in the MEPS hotel, what was your last meal?
I had the cheeseburger.
I went
That
to
was so long ago.
I went to a fucking Fuddruckers, and I fucking drank a beer after they told me not to.
Oh, wait a minute. My last meal was a pepperoni empanada.
You fucking remember, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
So my let's see, my last meal was a 32-ounce tomahawk steak,
fucking A,
and a glass of bourbon.
Fucking A.
Man's meal right there.
He was like, that's like a last meal that you have before you die on death row.
Right.
So my dad, who was a first sergeant at Bragg, he actually drove up to MEPS that night. He booked himself a hotel room at the hotel across the street, came, picked me up, took me to dinner, and then brought a good bottle of bourbon with him.
Hell yeah.
And we had a couple glasses of bourbon in his hotel room, and then I went back to the hotel.
Nice.
And then drunk off my ass, I got in the swimming pool at the hotel and sat there and hung out with all the other recruits that were shipping the next morning, and drank some beers too, because one of the guys snuck some beers in.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think mine was Golden Corral.
Golden Corral?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
I can think of worse places. You know what I mean?
I don't know how much worse.
Like
my recruiter offered to do our last meals for us, like take us wherever we wanted.
Hey.
Hi.
What did he say? Huh? What did he say?
Hold on.
Hold on. Jeremy? Oh, Joe's in trouble. Joe's in trouble.
Oh shit. I do have to ask though, what are some of the silliest questions that have been? Oh shit, he's
this fucking guy. Look at this fucking guy. Joe's cat was
wait, that's a big pussy.
Oh, boy, you got a big pussy. Boy, you got a big pussy.
The missus is heading out, so she was popping in to say bye and let the fucking cat in the office. Who tries to harass the fuck out of my cat, out of the guinea pig. So, but no, he did that. And one of my buddies that signed up with me was like, I want Cheesecake Factory. And I'm like, of all the fucking choices, like he's going to use the fucking credit card to get you something to fucking eat. You're going to choose Cheesecake Factory. Like I'd have gone more expensive than that.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I went to the Cheesecake Factory for the first time, like ever. Like, clearly it's me, right? But I went like for the first time ever last year here in Kansas City. Me and Nikki like had like a little, day date or whatever. And they have a ginormous fucking menu, dude. Like their menu is fucking extreme. Like it's like literally.
It's like ECW.
There is something on there for everyone.
It's 6 pages of fucking actual like dinner items, and then another 12 pages of fucking cheesecake.
And they serve alcohol. Freaking, I'm pretty sure they probably give you handies in the back if you ask the right way. You know what I mean? Like it's like Cheesecake Factory is a special place, dude. Like personally, I'm going back for the handies, but that's just me. Like,
the missus likes Cheesecake Factory, so we go there. They're Cuban. Their Cuban is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I've only been there once, but I was pretty impressed just by the.
I've been
sheer-
twice in my life, and both times have
size
been
and
since I've
scope.
been with the missus that I'm with now. So,
You know, this may be sacrilege, but you know, I've always said that there's cheesecake in heaven and marijuana in hell, and I typically don't really like cheesecake, so.
Hey man, if hell exists, dude, like you're gonna be in good company, homie. I promise, dude. Like
Now I do gotta ask, Brandon, what are you must have had some outrageous tattoos come in,
Oh,
crazy questions,
guys like me, fucking trying to join.
because
with all my fucking, with all my
when
shitty tattoos.
when I came in, and it's funny too, because the second episode of the podcast, I got this tattoo. We actually, that was actually my first missed episode, and but behind this was a marijuana leaf that I had when I signed up for the Army, and I had told them it was just it was foliage. And
They believed you.
They believed me because there was 5 leaves instead of 7. So
Okay.
it worked. But you know, have you encountered any crazy tattoos that you're just like, guy, you got to get rid of this, or you know, crazy questions that they've asked?
I had to get waivers for.
I've actually got three. I've got a good one.
Of mine.
Yeah.
So I got this after I was in, and it's a Confederate flag nautical star. I was already in.
You fucking hillbilly.
It's on my list of cover-ups that need to be done.
Yeah.
Disqualified.
I was young, dumb, and full of cum at the time. My first sergeant, 6 foot 7 inch, fucking big burly black guy.
Oh shit.
First PT
yeah.
session after I got it.
Oh yeah.
We're doing our PT test, so we finished the PT test. He was counting my push-ups, and he saw it. We finished the PT test, and then I had to do push-ups for like fucking an hour and a half straight. I'm a fucking E5 at this point, so I'm also getting lectured on how an NCO shouldn't have some shit like that on their fucking body, this, that, and the other, just ripped into. And then I had to go get a fucking waiver for the fucking tattoo.
Oh shit. So yeah, Brad, you must have gotten something, man.
The craziest tattoo I probably had seen was on a guy's calf. It was full on naked pinup girl.
Hell yes.
Laying on marijuana leaves.
Fucking hey. I like this guy already.
Yeah.
Tell me this guy went into the fucking infantry, please.
Tell me that was the guy. Tell me that was the guy.
Did he get approved for his waiver?
No, so he had to get that shit covered up. So he had to put a bathing suit on. had to put a bathing suit on her, and then add like palm trees where the marijuana leaves were. Yeah.
In other words, in order for him to get a paycheck from the government, he had to spend money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I always said, because I had to get waivers for a few of my tattoos coming in, and then they in the early years of my career, there was this one particular sergeant major who we will not name on this show, who was very unpopular, and he started attempting to institute these policies that revolved around tattoos. And like I said at the time, and I held to it, I was like, if they try to make me get something covered up or freaking like like the shit you like get a tattoo removed, I was like, I'm out. I'm fucking out, because they let me in with them. You know what I mean?
You must be talking about Sea Dog.
What's that?
You must be talking about Sea Dog.
Yeah, that one.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I knew
who he was talking about too.
Before I reclassed, while I was still a mechanic, and this is right before I reclassed, they made us take pictures of our tattoos.
Yep.
Every single one of them that was that you could basically see in a PT uniform. Put it that way. And like, and then they uploaded that into our, what we called at the time, our iPerms.
Yep.
And like, those pictures were still in there the day I got out in 2021. And like, it enrages me to this day. Because like, I came in with, I had added a couple more, but it was like, it enrages me that like it got that close to where like I was questioning if I was gonna like stay in, because I was like, you let me in with them, I'm not doing anything to them. Like, it's been like this the whole time, so leave me alone.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And that's like my tattoos. Like, before I got out, my arms were already covered, but I always made sure, in dress uniform or
Right.
camis, nothing was visible. Because at the time, the tattoo policy was as long as it's not visible when you're wearing long sleeves in dress uniform or your fatigues, you could have them. And then 3 months before my ETS date, they changed the fucking policy.
Oh shit.
And then of course it's different again now too.
Yeah.
Like the fucking tattoo policy changes almost every year, it seems.
Yeah. Well, and it changes revolving around recruiting and retention, and that's why why it changes.
Yeah.
That's exactly why it changes. Which is why I was so adamantly opposed to changing anything about my tattoos, because that was my freaking reason. I knew if I could get a waiver to come in and they're cool with it, then you better grandfather my ass the rest of my career, because freaking I'm not touching them. I'm not touching anything. You know what I mean? Like, anywho, go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So with the tattoo stuff, so I agree it was kind of a pain in the ass when they made us go through all that tattoo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually worked out in some people's favor though. So like what you said, you had to get a waiver when you came in for your tattoos. As long as all that stuff's documented,
right?
If the tattoo policy changes and you get out, and let's say a year later you're like, oh fuck this civilian world, I want to come back in. As long as all that stuff was documented prior to, you don't need a waiver again. You don't need to do anything. You're basically still grandfathered in if you wanted to come back in or something like that. It did work out in some people's favor.
When I ETS'd and they gave me like my packet back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It still contained shit that from MEPS that was like that had my tattoo waivers on it. Like shit. Like my file, they give you back your file basically like when you get out, and like my file still had shit in there about my tattoos. Like fucking almost not quite just shy of 12 years fucking later. That tattoo shit had followed me for fucking 12 years. No shit. Like that is a real thing in the Army.
Yeah, so that's got to be cool. I mean, so how long have you been recruiting now? And because I see here, this is your third recruiting station.
Yeah, all in all, about 8 years. It'll be 8 years in August.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool. Not bad. And so,
what is your current MOS designator now? As a
79 Romeo.
It is still okay. 79 Romeo. Okay.
Yep.
So, do you guys still wear the U.S. Army patches?
No, so we have,
because I know you guys were wearing that, and I think they allowed the recruits to wear them or something like that.
No, so the recruits, they wear the old U.S. Army star patch.
The one that you guys had.
Yeah, that's what we used to wear before I joined recruiting. When I joined recruiting, they'd switched over to the old Liberty Bell with the stars and then the recruiting tab above it. I'm trying to see if I have
pretty much the recruiting badge that you would have is now the patch.
Yeah.
I
remember when that transition happened. I was like, oh really? I was like, oh, of course, because it kind of sucked being a fuzzy. You got nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. And
I didn't have that problem. I had spec rank right here.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yep. There. Oh, that's nice.
That's for casual Fridays. That's what that shirt's for.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm not sure. I was just making a joke while he said
didn't that's have for casual Fridays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
I have a shirt.
So do you like khakis and like that polo on like one day a week or some shit?
We did that at
Fridays.
We did the same thing at BLC. I have a polo like fucking collared shirt that's got Staff Sergeant Campbell over here with our BLC fucking logo from when I was doing that shit at Fort Carson, dude. Like that's casual. The casual, right?
Yeah, really.
I've got a black polo like that with the MP cross pistols on it, and then I've got a pullover for colder weather that has the MP cross pistols with Sergeant First Class Squilini underneath it.
Yep, that's fucking
that's fucking cool.
The Army's moving in a more. Let me tell you what the Army's doing right, and I saw it from 2010 until 2021 while I was in, and for all the shit that is not okay and that needs to be done better or whatever, there are areas where the Army is doing a lot of things right, and they're moving in a much more professional direction. And we talk about the deployments we've been on. I always wondered, like, you know, I'd look around the motor pool when I was a mechanic, and I was like, how in the fuck are we the best, right? There's no fucking way, right? Like, there's no fucking way. And then I deployed, and I got to serve around other, like, our NATO allies, you know, some of our allies on the Afghan side, right? And it's just like, for a professional standing Army, we are light years fucking ahead. And the farther and the faster that we move in that professional direction, we're gonna stomp holes in people for a long time to come, like for a long time to come.
Absolutely.
There are definitely areas the Army needs to do shit a lot fucking better in, but holy fuck, we're nowhere near fucking number 2 right now. Like nobody's even fucking approaching us as far as like the level of like professionalism and how everybody treats, you know, the rank system. You know, we have NCOs as mediators between our officer corps and our junior enlisted at the bottom. You know what I mean? That's the NCOs are in the fucking middle of that, and we have a fucking strong ass fucking NCO corps. And the more professional we make the NCO corps, the stronger the Army becomes.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That is like you see it in Ukraine. You wonder why fucking Russia's still getting face fucked right now. It's because they have no fucking NCOs. I'm telling you right now. They do not have an NCO corps right now. It's been shattered, and their goddamn fucking Army is getting face fucked every day in the field, dude. That counteroffensive is getting ready to start, and fucking it's gonna be Crimea by summer, guys. Fucking mark your old pal fucking Jay's words, dude.
Oh dear
Crimea
God! The officer corps just joined the fucking chat. Everybody stop talking shit about lieutenants.
Who we got? Who came in? Who we got?
Oh, we got a map finder.
Max. Yeah, Max.
Oh, Max.
Hey, Max. Hey, Maximilian. Oh, I do have to ask before we get into our news and stuff, Brandon, what are you playing right now? What are you looking forward to this year? And what is next?
So right now I'm playing mostly Fortnite, just because it's like the only game that I can kind of go back to and have fun with. Other things I tend to get burnt out on. But what I'm looking forward to is definitely the Breath of the Wild sequel. Definitely looking forward to that. What else? Shit, really, that's about it. That's the only one that I'm kind of excited.
What about Jedi Survivor?
I haven't even looked at that game yet, honestly.
Don't listen.
Did you ever play Fallen Order?
Don't listen to these nerds.
I've never played any Star Wars game. I'm not. I will never say that I'm like a big Star Wars guy.
Cut them out. Don't listen to these nerds.
Don't listen to these nerds. Don't let them get to you. Don't let them get to you.
I will definitely agree. Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, we're looking at 7 years since the last original Zelda game anyways. Yeah. If not a little bit longer. So Tears of the Kingdom is definitely one of those ones I've been looking forward to. So I will agree on that. That's actually the reason I bought a capture card to start recording and streaming Switch games was because of that.
Yeah.
Maximilian says he's looking forward to Stalker. He said
Stalker.
He said hopes it doesn't get delayed again due to the stuff happening in Ukraine. And like, are you guys familiar with that one?
Yeah, I am familiar with that one. Stalker actually looks really fucking good, to be honest with you.
What's it supposed to be about? Like, what's the whole thing with it?
It's a first-person shooter survival horror video game series developed by GSC Game World. The series is set in an alternate version of the present-day Chernobyl exclusion zone in Ukraine, where, according to the series backstory, a mysterious second Chernobyl disaster took place in 2006.
Oh, here we go. That sounds intriguing as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good game. But yeah,
except Russia.
Yeah. So yeah.
Except fuck Russia. What?
We're gonna hit
Russia. Fuck China. What?
Where is my? You hear that? That motherfucker's gonna come for you and beat the bricks off you, Jay.
Fucking dude, don't come to Kansas City fucking looking for trouble, dude. I'll turn this motherfucker into the Gaza Strip, dude. Okay, like.
Whoa. And we'll be right back after this.
Join the Army today and be part of something bigger than yourself. You'll get to do important work, like filling out paperwork and scrubbing toilets. But hey, it's all part of the job. Whether you're working in an office or in the field, you'll be part of a team that is dedicated to serving their country and occasionally saving the world from aliens or supervillains. And who knows, you might just get to shoot a gun someday. Just make sure you aim for the target and not your own foot. So, if you're looking for a career that will challenge you and give you the chance to wear a snazzy uniform, join the Army today and become a part of a proud and occasionally wacky tradition.
Get ready for a journey into the world of video game lore with You, Me, and Lore. Hosts Brandon and Kenny take you on a thrilling adventure through the background stories of your favorite games. Currently, they cover two of the biggest titles, Halo and Death Stranding. Learn about Master Chief's battles in Halo and uncover the secrets behind the mysterious world of Death Stranding. These games offer more than just action and adventure, they offer rich stories that are waiting to be explored. Join Brandon and Kenny as they dive deeper into the lore and bring you the insights and information that make these games truly unforgettable. Subscribe to You, Me, and Lore now and never miss a beat in the exciting world of video game lore.
All right. So, yep. We got join the army. So we got some exciting news. I will hide this camera real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We're not peeping into his house. So we got
Rowdy Roddy Peeper.
Yes, that's right.
It's a Simpsons joke. Simpsons did it first.
Let's see. So we got some stuff.
I've got a little bit of news too. I was going to say, John, I've got one. Whenever we get to the military news, I've got one piece of military news as well. So whenever we get to it, are we starting with it?
Well, it's gonna be a sandwich. All right, he's back.
Sandwich? What kind of sandwich are we making, John?
Hang on, I'm waiting. Trying to write back. I'm waiting for World War III to happen again. I'm waiting for World War III to happen. I'm just writing in our chat here to Strobridge. All right, so the Dias Big Country Airfest took place April 22nd in Dias Air Force Base. We have some exclusive pictures from our very own Gonzo Gon Gaming. I mean, look at that. Look at that.
Nice.
The Air Force, one of the best taxis ever.
Hell yeah. I got a bunch of stuff here. You got I'm assuming that's an AC-130. Now, I know that he works.
No, that is not.
No, that's a
I'm not
C-17.
Listen, I'm a man.
Yeah.
I'm not a smart man, all right?
It's a C-17.
Yep. And then we got another one here. You guys ever been to an air show before?
Oh, yeah.
I grew up in Tucson, dude. They have them there.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I've been to a few of them myself,
right
and
next to Polk.
I fucking love them, man. They are exciting and
loud.
You always
loud.
It's the dark side of you kind of wants like
Super fucking loud.
Something bad to happen.
You feel it in your chest. You feel it in your nuts. Hey, did you guys know? You know the in the 1980s the Rammstein air show disaster. I have met three or more than three now. It's a whole family, but like I've met two separate. One is a family, and then I met another individual that were all there present that day when it happened. Like, and I happened to be close friends with this family, and they were all there. Like when the Rammstein air show disaster occurred.
Yeah,
and like and to hear my buddies tell me like because they were little kids and like. They said like they didn't get scared until they saw like how their parents looked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they saw their parents starting to like freak out a little bit, like knowing like shit was like massively wrong. You know what I mean? So yeah, like the dark side of you wants it, but like
look at Top Gun over here.
Yeah,
look at that mustache.
Look at fucking Maverick over there with his out of fucking regs, goddamn fucking facial fucking hair, dude. Police that mustache, dude.
Holy shit! Oh man, but that looks like a good time. That looks like a good time. In other news, the Division Heartland has been announced. For fans of the Division series, it's back. We're going into the country for this game in particular. I
Country.
honestly can't wait.
Flyover country. What city is it going to be set in? Or is it like multiple? Or
So I believe it said it's a fictional town, the Division Heartland.
Sounds like Texas to me. It's gonna have to be Texas of some
Yeah,
sort.
it looks like
if
Texas.
they're calling it Heartland.
Yeah. It's set in rural America in the fictional town of Silver Creek. The game features 2 major game modes. The first mode is Storm Operations, and it is a player versus environment mode, which can support a maximum of 45 players. In this mode, players must fend off against agents from rogue factions known as the Vultures while surviving the virus. And if you guys are familiar with what's going on with the virus in the game, it's still going. It's no longer in New York. We're in the Heartland. The next game that has been released, I'm about to blow your fucking minds right now. Some of you guys have probably already seen this already, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. This is the new video. Yeah, this is the new game called, well, just look. Can you hear it by any chance?
yes.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Is this VR?
no.
No. Be a kick-ass VR game though.
Good evening, Ben.
God.
Yeah, he's already announced that this is not going in VR.
Like.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Shoot, move, and communicate.
This actually looks really good.
This game has been in development for about a year now by like 2 people. Look, do you notice?
Again, dude, hit him again.
Now notice the faces are blurred.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's almost done.
No, you're good. I enjoy watching. This fucking sucks. Ben Davies, welcome. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Across the pond.
Where the fuck is Oscar?
And there you have it. That is the first official final gameplay of Unrecord. I don't know who the fuck Oscar is though. Don't ask me.
What platforms is this on?
So far, it has not been revealed to be. Right now, we know it's on the Steam wish list. It's not going to be VR, so it will have potential to be coming onto console soon.
Holy shit.
What are your when you look at this footage, right? What are some of your thoughts when it comes to the tactical movement in this?
I mean, it's realistic. It's realistic that you have to make good transitions. It's what we call transitions. So like when you're rounding corners, when you're going into an open space, you saw there towards the end, it's what I would call a bat. Like when he kicked the door, he had to kick the door twice, and he had everything to the left covered. But as soon as he turned around, he was standing in an open doorway, and that led into another room. That was a bad transition.
This part right here, right?
Yeah. So watch when he clears all this, and that's fine. But he immediately steps out into a fucking doorway. Like that's a bad transition. Like that's if somebody's you got 2 rooms now connected. So there you go. So it's even worse than like just one room.
Yeah.
There could be somebody freaking like, 40 feet away just waiting for you because they've already heard you come in twice. And that's obviously in especially in these tactical situations, sometimes like there's being quiet, and then there's like just fucking being very aggressive, right? If you're being very aggressive, you're not going to be quiet.
Now this mechanic here blows my mind. What he's doing here,
and that was the other thing. I was like, they're using a pistol the whole time. I'm like, I want to see this with a freaking like M4. You know
I don't think that's going to be an option with this game.
That's what I'm wondering.
What do you think, Squillini? Yeah.
What this is it's supposed to be the body cam of a police officer. So you're a cop, and your view is your body cam. And it's here's my thing. As somebody that was an MP in a situation like this, who then was going into civilian law enforcement when I got out, in a situation like this, you're going into a building. A, you're not going into a building by your fucking self like this.
Nope.
B, the second you're going to be going into a abandoned warehouse to chase down suspects, you're getting your M4 out of the rack in your fucking squad car. You're not going in with just your fucking pistol.
So are we dealing with a rogue cop in this game, possibly?
Maybe. I mean, that's what I'm curious.
Well, I wouldn't say rogue because he does contact dispatch.
Oh, so right here he does, yeah.
Yeah, if it was a rogue cop, then dispatch wouldn't even be involved.
Interesting.
This is only like one level, right? So maybe M4s are in the game, like
possibly. It's still
shotguns, like whatever. Like
it's still in early development. The game looks fan-fucking-tastic, and it's funny too, Jay, because
they did really good on the sound. It's like that's what kind of made it like a little bit more.
Now, if you remember, I actually showed you the very early development of this footage a couple months ago, and Squillini remembers. You may not remember, Jay, but I did show this footage. It was earlier development footage, which still looked really good, did it not? So now it's
now it's kind of like polished and.
I mean,
I'll play it. I really want to see freaking other weapons though.
I partially would hope that even if you don't go into the building with an M4, that they add the mechanic that, like, after you drop a fucking body, you can grab their weapon.
Something like that, yeah. Like, that's where I'm like...
Because that's something in a scenario like that you would also see happen. You go in with the weapons you have and the ammo you have, and then when you run out, kind of it goes like John Wick style, and you have to grab weapons off of the people you've taken down.
I am not going to attack a building full of bad guys by myself with a pistol.
No.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
That's how you die.
So,
the video looked really good. Like the graphics look amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It looked like video footage.
It was the sound that got me. It was the walking footsteps. Like I can't count how many times we've been in a mock village, doing, in training. And like when you've got Op 4 like in the building just waiting on you, and and you hear the sounds, and like I was saying earlier, like you go from trying to be a little quiet to we have to just fucking be aggressive. We have to be aggressive as fuck and just go now. Because like once the element of any surprise is fucking gone, you might as well just fucking send it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's like I would love to see that game if you had like an M4 in your hands, dude. Like that would be fun. That looked like a fun
Absolutely. Game. In other news, Buzz Aldrin to be promoted to Air Force General. Retired Air Force Colonel Buzz Aldrin, who joined Neil Armstrong as the first two men to step on foot on the lunar surface, will receive an honorary appointment to Brigadier General during a ceremony on May 5th at the Los Angeles Air Force Base, according to a press release from the U.S. Space Force's Space Systems Command. Always honored to serve our country, Aldrin 93 posted soon after the announcement to his Twitter account. He also wrote, "I will bear true faith in allegiance, which is spoken as part of the oath taken by both enlisted and commissioned officers in the U.S. military." This was surprising to me to hear, and I think it's actually really cool to hear, especially with some of the controversies that he's been going through with some of the things that he's been saying. I'm a little surprised, but at the same time, I'm very happy to see that Colonel Buzz Aldrin will now become General.
General
Buzz
Aldrin. Yeah, that's kind of a feel good story on that one. Yeah, for sure. I I actually got a little bit of freaking military news, dude. Like, are you ready for this?
Yep, send it, and then I got 2 more things.
So I sent to the chat.
I got it.
These 2 guys won the Ranger Regiment or the Ranger competition this year. So best Ranger competition just happened. These are your victors. They came out of Ranger Regiment. Ranger Regiment has won the last 3 years in a row. I want you, John. Can you zoom in on the kid on the left, please? Do you guys remember a few? I don't remember if it was like.
Is that him? The one who did the run?
The hour 28 minute fucking 12 mile.
Yeah,
that's him. And
Damn.
this kid is the first junior enlisted winner of the best Ranger competition. This motherfucker is not even a sergeant yet. Like,
he will be after this.
Holy fucking shit. Like,
promotion fucking fast tracked for his ass right there.
This dude set a fucking world record. It shattered the existing record on the 12-mile ruck march. Absolutely shattered it. And then now he is now as a specialist best Ranger along with the good captain there. Let me
specialist for a couple more weeks. His E5 fucking.
I'm gonna tell you that he just locked in Sergeant Major.
He's
in his
done.
Future.
He's
in his
fucking
future
done.
he locked it in.
All he's got to give that kid a few rounds in fucking Africa. You know what I mean? In some of our operations. You know what I mean? And then like fucking send his ass to staff, dude.
Let me tell you something.
We need guys like that leading the way, dude. Like,
these two guys. When I look at these two, I look at fucking leaders, man. I look at fucking leaders. Okay,
that's fucking Rangers, dude. Like when I went to ALC, at Fort Benning, guys from regiment were in our class.
This guy's gonna have a statue made of him.
These guys are like it's like super infantry. Does that make sense?
Yep.
You have your regular like line infantry, and then like Rangers are basically like super infantry, you know. And it goes and the tiers start continuing to stack from there. And that's like a lot of your guys in Delta are pulled from fucking regiment. Like they are freaking omnipresent in the soft community. Yep. Like Rangers don't fucking play, dude. And like this kid is a fucking monster, dude. And I got the best part. He's on our fucking side.
He ain't no Marine.
We have that fucking guy, dude. Like that's our guy. Like that's fucking badass as fuck, dude. Like congratulations to the fucking best Rangers, best Ranger competition winners, fucking sir, and goddamn soon to be fucking sergeant. Because like motherfucker did all that before he fucking made stripes. Like so, very much looking forward to.
It's kind of scary.
Very much looking forward to like the future career of this young man. And good
absolutely
best of luck to him moving forward.
Yeah. So Ben, I'm gonna have to send you a guest form or something to have you come on the show next week or something. So he has some information here. The Army Medical Service esports team. We play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, League of Legends, Rocket League, World of Warships, and Formula One. I love Formula One. At a competitive level, and all games are streamed on Twitch. The teams are made up of regular, reserve, and veterans. Any support is welcome. Once I get that link, I'm going to have it up for you, my brother. But that is actually a great opportunity. I want to talk to you more about that. Okay. In other news, and this is actually the last thing we have here. For those who don't know about your GI Bill, did you know that you can get it for landscape designer? With a market size of more than $105 billion, according to the IBIS World Landscape and Services Industry report, landscape design is a veritable industry for veterans and service members. Institutions like the Conway School of Landscape Design accept the post 9/11 GI Bill and also participate in the Yellow Ribbon GI Bill Education Enhancement Program and the Edith North Rogers STEM Scholarship. I'm sure these are all things that Brandon Sergeant First Class Brandon Cleary has mentioned to the recruits coming in, that there are major educational benefits that a lot of people seem to forget about.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
the Army and the military in general can be a massive stepping stone if you do your time, you do it right, and you do your time. On the back end of that, there's a wealth of benefits and things that are specifically designed for veterans out there, and they're kind of just waiting to be picked up.
Yep.
It's whether, it's whether or not you choose to pick them up after you after you get out. So
Absolutely. And the next one is automotive technician. The Bureau of Labor Statistic projects little to no change in the automotive service technician and mechanic job outlook through 2031. And trade schools like the Universal Technical Institute, with its 16 locations nationwide, are post 9/11 GI Bill applicable. The automotive dealer initiative also falls under the VA program's eligibility. The National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence offers testing and certification. If you want to cut hair, if you want to do things like this, barbers and beauticians are also considered. To stay a cut above, no pun intended, consider attending a vocational school for cosmetology. Buckner Barber School in Dallas, Southern Careers Institute, and the American College of Barbering are among the institutions accepting the VA benefit to cover your tuition costs.
Yep.
Another one, foreign program approval is also there as well, and those interested in pursuing their education abroad can do so if they meet the following criteria: eligible for or already receive VA education assistance. The program is VA approved, and completion of the program is at a higher learning institution where students earn a standard associate degree or higher, or a degree of equal value at the school. I actually just found out about this morning when I read about it. It was actually quite interesting. The benefits do include funds for schooling and housing. However, not all schools have been approved through the VA. Got two more here, and this was actually very surprising. You can go to school for tattooing. Nearly 30,000 tattoo artists are employed in the U.S., according to an IBIS World Industry Report published in 2021, and the industry is only expected to grow. In 2022 alone, the market size was projected to increase more than 5%, and the Florida Tattoo Academy, which falls under the state's Department of Education, is a VA-approved tattoo school. Individual shops that offer apprenticeships can also qualify, like Body Art and Soul Tattoos, which has locations in Brooklyn, New York, Los Angeles, New Haven, Connecticut, Philadelphia, and Tampa, Florida. I think that's also a really good opportunity because art leads the way, does it not? So how cool would it be to use your GI Bill and go to tattoo school with? And last but not least, woodworking. Those looking to carve out a niche in woodworking can do so at several institutes and schools that specialize in the craft. Schools like the Center for Furniture Craftsmanship, the Vermont Woodworking School, the Port Townsend School of Woodworking, and the Sam Buford Woodworking Institute are just a few available options. Careers vary from cabinet makers and bench carpenters to furniture furnishers and woodworking machine setters, operators, and tenders. And employment in the industry is expected to grow 3% between 21 and 31, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics data. All this, if you're looking for a school near you, go to va.gov under your educational benefits. You will actually have a whole list. That's a whole PDF file. It's like a couple pages long where you'll find all the schools that are available for these and many, many, many more.
Yep.
Fucking A.
Tie all that shit in.
Sign your life away.
Tie all that shit in with a VA small business loan.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually funny because I actually have a link over here. 3 advantages vets have for starting their own businesses.
Fucking Nikki. Straight up fucking came in with the burn.
My goddess just like roasted my ass, dude.
Yeah, and you know what? What I'll do for you guys in the group, I'll throw in the link here for 3 advantages vets have for starting their own businesses, because I'm actually going to look into that. And I see Hotel Tango Distillery there in the picture. That looks really good. Sergeant First Class Brandon Cleary. It's been a long time coming. It was so fun. Before we get to our final thought, do you have anything else that you want to say to us? Any words of encouragement for anyone who wants to join in?
Yeah. So if you're looking at joining, it's just like any other job out there, right? You got good days, you got bad days. You got bosses that you don't want to work for. You got bosses that you want to work for. The great thing about it is that every couple of years we move around, so people change out. Yeah. I mean, if you want to do it, just do it. Don't think about it. Just go for it.
Now, if someone is in like California, can they give you a call at your recruiting station?
Yeah, they can. Technically, yeah.
And then you'll probably just end up sending them to the guy nearest them, right?
And most of the time, yeah.
That's interesting, man. It's all interesting. We're gonna have to bring you back and talk more about this stuff. But thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of you guys for the final thought today.
Who's got it? Who had it last week?
I did.
John did, so it's your go, Jay.
Okay. All right. Well, it has been another 168, and based off the fact that I really didn't have much to talk about this week, that means it's not a bad thing. It just means we're getting into a routine kind of, and I know there's a lot of times in our lives when things seem routine and something comes along and like massively jacks it up. I want to encourage everybody out there to not lose heart, okay, to not lose faith, whether in yourself or your higher power or whatever. Understand that people are out there that love you very, very much. It is always darkest right before the dawn. Okay. Sometimes you just have to wait it out. And I know it's easy for me to sit here and say that, but the reality is I've lived it a few times, and I've also lived through it a few times when people that I knew and loved decided not to come back. Okay. We want to encourage you guys every week to hang on. A lot of people ask for a few minutes, maybe a couple of hours. We ask for 168 hours here. We ask you guys for 7 days every week. We need to see you here next week. We need you in formation. All right. If you are having bad thoughts, if you're having intrusive thoughts, okay, it's okay to have them. It's not okay to act on them. You need to call 1-800-273-8255. You can dial or text. You can text star 988. You can actually call 988. Okay, and somebody, a licensed behavioral health specialist, is waiting for your call. And if you need to just word vomit or get it out or let it go or whatever you need for that period of time, okay, they're there. Okay, it's okay to feel feelings. It's okay to be inside yourself sometimes. It's not okay to fucking swim to the bottom of the fucking deep end and then sit there. We need you guys up on your feet. We need you moving forward. Okay. If you need to take a knee and drink some water, do it. But then I need you back on your feet and moving on. All right, guys, it was fucking wonderful.
Absolutely.
Star and Cleary, it was a pleasure, sir. It was a pleasure. My apologies. It was a pleasure, my man. It's a pleasure, my man. Like, how the fuck can I call a fucking NCO sir here, huh? Oh my god, bad etiquette.
No,
Only been out for like a year and a half, 2 years.
Bad etiquette. Like, just terrible. See, I haven't even been out for 2 years and I'm already fucking it up, right? So yeah, that's my Missouri manners getting in my way right here.
Just make sure not to accept his paperwork in case it comes in, because I know he's itching.
I know, right? So
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's always good to see you guys.
Always good.